Oh, baby, I'm about to do.
Should we start over or just keep going?
No,
Let's go. This is it.
Welcome everybody to episode 24. 24, right? Episode 24 of the All You Can Hear podcast. I'm one of your four co-hosts, Tanner, and with me, as per usual, Wenzel.
Oh, hey. Hey, it's me, Wenzel.
No one's gonna know why we're laughing because we've been bullshitting.
I said newt instead of nut.
We've been
It's
bullshitting
a lot
for
better
like
if you've
30
been here the whole time.
Yeah, if you could listen to our pre-show, fantastic, best banter. I'm joined by Colt.
I forgot how to breathe a few minutes ago.
That is true. Colt hyperventilated, and we have Cody.
It's me.
And today we're talking about. I mean, we're kind of talking about the history of ghost hunting. This isn't no like super in depth. Like, well, in 1894, the first ghost was found.
We're
I
gonna
got
talk
a
the
link
history
to
of ghost hunting.
Wikipedia page for ghost hunting.
Colt, don't give away our trade secrets.
Damn it.
Okay, look. What we're gonna end up talking about today is we're gonna end up talking about the history of ghost hunting.
Did you say talkie?
talkie? Walkie?
Nakey.
You want to see me naked, baby?
Welcome to the Halloween
God.
special.
One day we're gonna put out our bloopers, and you'll be able to piece together what has caused us to lose our shit and how we've progressively gotten worse with every podcast.
Okay, look. Listen, you motherfuckers. Today we're gonna be talking about something to do with ghost hunting.
People are gonna be listening like, are they talking about the history of ghosts? They've just been laughing about Newt.
I don't know why I'm laughing anymore. There's no reason.
I'm gonna turn Wenzel down.
I'm just laughing because everybody else is laughing.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking about the history. We're not really gonna be talking about history. We're gonna be talking about ghost hunting.
We're not gonna be talking about the history.
It's all the history of ghost hunting, but let's be fucking real here. We just been searching.
I ain't no historian.
We got 5 articles in front of us right here. We got
3 of them are Wikipedia.
2 of them are Wikipedia.
Oh.
One of them's the Huffington Post, and then we got one from the fucking BBC.
England represent.
I don't even know what Business Insider is.
Colt's like, do I look like I fucking do business?
I'm a goddamn man.
Wenzel's still muted. You might.
Wenzel can't talk.
Wenzel's been talking into the mic.
Oh, there you go.
No,
Wenzel.
I just said it's me.
Okay, all right.
Christ.
So, I guess we start out by talking about kind of where the fuck ghost hunting kind of came from and where that kind of started at. And I know a little bit about ghost history because I myself am an avid ghost.
Cody's pretty much trying to say we all watch Ghost Hunters at this table.
Get out of me!
No, ghost adventures, not ghost hunters. Ghost hunters, they're like, yeah, well, I think your sink
Welcome
is
to
leaking.
Taps, brother.
Welcome to Taps.
Or
We
Caps.
got. It sounds like a fucking bar. But we also watch Ghost Adventures where the main character.
Get out of me! Get out of me!
Where the main character punches shit.
Wait. Well.
And like, and they're always shocked, and they have like spirit pumps and shit. This episode is fucked.
What the fuck just happened? I think I had a mini stroke again because like since I hit the table, everything went dead silent and I couldn't hear anything for a second.
Okay, we're being haunted by Ghost Adventures at this point.
Man, last week I was possessed. This week Colt's possessed. What a hoot.
So yeah, go, you know, fuck it, fuck the history of. We're
just gonna talk about Ghost Hunters.
We're gonna talk about Ghost Adventures.
Hold on. First, I do want to ask a kind of serious question. It's not serious at all. Okay, say, does everybody at this table like believe in ghosts?
No.
No.
No,
So nobody believes in ghosts at this
No.
table. Okay, great.
No.
I mean not technically.
I
like,
believe in like radio towers fucking with my eyes. Obama.
Yeah, we're not predicting.
Listen, you can't reuse the bit every week.
I don't know, can I?
Goddamn libs.
Look,
Fake news.
look.
thought this would be our funniest episode.
It's just it's just
funny to us.
It's mostly just laughing.
Look,
What's not to love?
here's what's gonna happen.
Make sure to rate us on iTunes.
Look, I don't believe in ghosts, okay? But let me tell you right now, if some spooky shit goes down in the building, my ass is out. My ass is out of that place. Because, look, life's too short to be fucking with demons and ghosts and shit. So, I don't believe, but I will believe in the moment.
So you're a circumstantial believer.
Yeah, I am circumcised, thank you.
Well, yes, I am circumcised, but also I believe in ghosts.
But yes, I definitely can push aside my reality at a moment's
Y'all
notice.
think ghosts are circumcised?
Nah, they ain't got dicks. You never
Well,
seen
no,
the
I
lower
mean,
half.
if they got
Get out of me!
God, what's the one show that has the dog with the camera on it, and they send the dog into like
That's
small...
Ghost Adventures.
Ew, wow, what a good
No,
show.
so Ghost. You know what? We're just gonna fuck around about Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters and shit. So
Boom.
like they have. I'm sorry, I'm coughing a lot. I've kind of got allergy, cold stuff going on. One of the things that I always like about some of these shows is their gadgets. And Ghost Adventures did this quite. Ghost Hunters, they have like.
Here's my box that makes a bunch of shitty noises.
No.
It's speaking to me.
I mean,
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, yeah. But there's
But Ghost Adventures created the dog to put a camera on.
That is true. And then they created a new genre.
they're like, fuck it. I am not going in the house. This is retarded as shit.
God, we need something bigger than a cat, but smaller than like a fox.
Oh!
Guys, hear me out. I have a Dachshund at the house.
Put a fucking GoPro on the bitch and get.
Wait a minute.
Sit it in.
I have a dachshund too.
Ghosts don't fuck with dogs.
Oh my God.
Wait, new idea for our ghost hunting episode. Let's put a camera on Gabby.
I am not.
It's a
saying
podcast.
No. I'm not
once
saying
long.
no.
Let's put a camera
I
on my
want to do
dog.
it.
Oh,
My
we
question
just do it
is.
for banter.
My fucking question is. I forgot my question.
Damn it!
I think.
You think a hamster would be capable of doing it?
Just tape a GoPro to a hamster.
Wait, it would be the size of the hamster.
Yeah. You just tape it to the
So
back.
it never leaves.
No. Everyone knows.
You tape it to the hamster and you throw it in. What you record, you record.
Okay, Hamtaro.
It breaks the window.
Like, what? Okay, all right. Now y'all just being silly.
Yo, that's stupid. Let's talk about the dog idea again, though, because I really think that landed.
But seriously, let's go back to let's talk about Let's go back to Ghost Hunters. I started watching Ghost Hunters, which is really good show back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time, like they'd go into this old lady's house and she'd be like, "Oh, my husband haunted me," and they're like, "No, it's just a fucking leaky pipe, bitch. That's what the noise you."
But
hear
then
in
they turn the
bathroom
lights off and be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's a haunted leaky pipe.
But and I almost gave up on Ghost Hunters until there's an episode back in about 2003, 2004, maybe even 2005, where they went into a lighthouse and bald dude, I forgot. He looks like a Mike, so he's probably named Mike. He takes a flashlight
Comes out of the womb.
and he's shining.
Mike.
Pawn shop guy.
He does look
Rick
like Pawn Shop.
Harrison.
No.
But his name's Rick.
This guy, they both look like Rick Harrison.
But they also look like Mike. Mike Rowe.
Is Pawn Stars
No.
on Ghost Hunters?
Wait a minute. Are big bald people doing a monopoly on reality television?
Why are you
Oh,
laughing?
fuck.
That is real. That's the realest
Oh, fuck.
topic.
This podcast
We need to
just,
take off that topic now. Cut it out. Now.
We're here to talk about the global conspiracy of white bald men taking over our media and
holy shit, Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel is like 80
Andrew
years
Zimmerman.
old. But he looks like he's 20.
Hot ones, dude.
Terry Crews.
I love how
Wait a minute.
not white.
Oh.
First off, not white. Also, I love how like the leading media leaders: Howie Mandel, Andrew Zimmer, Sean Evans.
So I remember this episode where they're in the lighthouse and they look up into the lighthouse and they got infrared and they see someone standing up there and bald guy's like, well, there ain't fucking no one up there. And it felt like that episode that they actually started believing in ghosts themselves. Like, they were just bullshitting around. Let's just make a sci-fi reality television show. Let's get out of my mom's basement type of thing. Like, me and my wife and 3 kids in my mom's basement. It's not good. Doesn't look good. And so they were like, okay, sci-fi. Let's do this show where we ghost hunt. Well, they did, and then they believe in ghosts because they see this fucking lighthouse ghost. Because in that moment, they saw this ghost, or they thought they saw this ghost, and they were like, I don't know. I'm being real with you. This shit's crazy. But then I kind of switched over to Ghost Adventures, which is around the time that, if y'all remember, y'all know Buckle Clothes, Affliction.
That's my life.
Get out.
Hell yeah.
Currently. I'm all about some
DC.
affliction.
It was around that time. What?
You know the brand.
If you ain't ever spent $95 on a pair of buckle jeans, you ain't living.
You know the brand DC.
And they had, so there's a guy named Zach Baggins, Bilbo.
Have you seen him recently? He just got nothing but makeup on his face.
He's looking like Carrot Top, but and they started doing the same thing. But there was three guys going into a place doing the lockdown, where they get locked in this building, and they had these gadgets. Like, I mean, they had gadgets in Ghost Hunters, but one of the major gadgets that a Ghost Hunter uses is
The dog with the camera
EVP.
is EVPs, and they also use
Dowel rods.
Okay. We might actually use. Why not? Okay, we're getting ideas for.
Ghost is my dick big. I didn't do that. The ghost did it.
How did it know?
So they use a thing where they can be able to pick up electronic voices, like a little recorder. Are we ghosts?
What?
Because we're all.
Dun, 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 dun.
But they also use things to like check for electric signals and things like that, because they believed that unshielded wires and things like that could put off a lot of electricity, and those electricity could fuck with your brain because your brain's electricity and shit like that. That's what they believed. I'm not saying it's true, just saying that's what they did.
It's true, though.
Then Ghost Venture comes along, and they're like, oh, we got that shit too. We got infrared cameras, we got all this shit, but let me tell you what else we got. We got this mad scientist, and this little dude's like, yeah, I've got a PhD in paranormal psychology, and you're like, I don't think you do.
That's not real.
I think it is from.
It's not real.
Yeah, it's not. I don't.
It's not.
Look, if we have any paranormal investigators, any paranormal professors, PhDs,
You're
out
not
there,
real.
You don't exist.
We don't need to alienate that part.
We're gonna.
You know what?
That is literally our only demographic.
You know what? If you are out there, come to us and we'll listen.
Are you
Yeah,
out
no.
there?
If you fly your ass down here, you be on the podcast.
You fly your ass down.
We ain't paying.
No, fuck that. We ain't paying you.
We ain't paying for your fake ass, man. Come on.
Okay. Anyways, I wonder if we can find anybody around here that does this shit. Anyways,
We can find someone that's a medium.
I would almost bet everybody around here does that.
Hey,
now,
I bet someone in Tanner's family's a medium.
Is that a bit?
No, I think it's true.
Okay.
okay, what the fuck? Okay, anyways, and so they started bringing this guy on. He's like, "Oh, I've got inventions," and you're like, "What kind of inventions does this motherfucker have?" And I remember they popped up what Colt said earlier, the box that just makes fucking white noise and then like suddenly shoots in words, and be like, "I was like, how'd you die?" And then like, Native American, and
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Holy shit, this is either a Native American or someone got fucking macheted in the eye."
What?
Or what is it called? Tomahawk. I don't know. I'm being racially prejudiced against what Native Americans use.
Wow.
Yeah, as weapons. But they brought in that, and they would always bring in these like special tools and things like that as well. Like they had this
The dog with the camera on it.
the dog with the
Dog with
camera.
the camera.
They had
Work in progress hamster
ultra-
with the camera.
They had an ultraviolet.
We need a bigger budget for the hamster with the camera on it.
Just throw it in there attached to a fucking brick. Just
That's
You'll
the
try-
Let's check the
prototype.
brick cam. Check
That's
the brick
the
cam.
prototype.
Check the brick cam. Now. The brick's gone. The brick's gone.
all of a sudden you see that fucking brick fly. If you see-
You can see somebody vaguely off camera throwing it across. They're like, oh my god! Y'all see that brick fly?
one of the things that Jonathan's Jonathan's dad loved, because one of the times, most of the time when I watch this show at this point is whenever I'm at Jonathan's house.
Sure.
And they'll be watching it because it comes on Friday nights. If I'm over at Jonathan's, it's usually a Friday night, and we'd just be sitting there watching and making fun of them. And they use something called a spirit pump, and Jonathan's dad just can't get enough of that shit. He laughs his ass off. He's like, "Yeah, spirit pump up that spirit cock and shit like that."
You were 15.
I don't think he actually says stuff like that, but the spirit, he does talk about how like the spirit pump in innuendo, and just how it pumps out like this energy for ghosts to suck on or something.
What the fuck? You wild ghost hunters.
But
Ghost Adventurers.
Ghost Hunters
yeah.
if Ghost Hunters, I mean, there's been other ghost shows where there's been like one in London, a British one where they're like, oh, there's ghosts down here, and they're like, oh, and that used to be
Doctor
on
Who.
Travel Channel, but that kind of went off the air. I remember they used to do live lockdowns for that one. That was pretty cool. I'm sorry. But
Sylvia
then,
Brown.
so Ghost Hunters kind of opened up this door to these types of places, and then you had Ghost Adventures who kind of made it fucking crazy. They were the first ones to be like, okay, we're going to get locked down, and, we're going to get locked down in this place, and I'm going to scream, and I'm going to punch shit. The one that Colt's talking about where he's like, get out of me! And hitting things, that was on Provelia Island, where in Italy, where they used to pile the dead bodies of people up. And
That's insane that you know that off the top of your head.
Yeah, I've seen Ghost.
I've every episode that Cody's seen, I've seen as well.
I mean, I understand that, but so the episode where the guy got possessed was on Pavilion.
I remember
Pelican
that
Island.
specifically as well because he went out in a field where there was dead bodies apparently, and he put on the mask. He's like, "All right, ghosts, I'm here."
No, yeah. So
I'm a doctor of
they
the
would
plague.
They would take these in Italy. They would take it was right off the coast of Italy, and they would take the dead of people who died of bubonic plague and carry them to this island and pile them up so that they could just rot on this island so they were away from society, which is kind of a good thing because they didn't have any place to bury these fuckers and they're like dying and they're like, okay, well, the more we keep dead bodies around, more people get sick. Science. But the doctors would have these long beaked masks. You see it a lot in Renaissance. Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed invented it.
A lot of Renaissance style shows and things like that, and they would like stuff herbs up into the long nose of the beak and use the mask to ward off evil spirits.
You know what I mean? Herbs,
stuff
right.
like that.
You know.
And so they were on this island. And he gets like possessed, and he's like beating on fucking tape on the walls and shit, screaming, "Get out of me! Get out of me!" And apparently he was so like emotionally and spiritually fucked up by that, he went and got a huge tattoo on his back to ward off demons and shit or something.
That's awesome.
It was
I was hoping you would say of a huge rat to represents the bubonic
no,
plague.
it was like death or something. He got like a huge tattoo of death on his back.
It's Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird.
It's Taz surfing, and then behind
So
that.
going farther into these ghost shows, there's a bunch of new ones out, like Redneck Ghost Hunters. And
Oh yeah, I remember
Doesn't
watching that at
BuzzFeed
Thanksgiving
does one,
last
though?
year.
BuzzFeed does one, but they actually kind of take the old school approach.
Today on the Redneck Ghost Hunters, we're gonna catch a ghost in a fish tank. That's what happened. I don't know if Cody remembers that, but we watched that.
Redneck Ghost Hunters. Yeah, they again with this whole idea of invention. They're like, okay, we got quartz in here and we got like ionated water. Let's turn it on. It's literally a fucking fish tank. They turn it on, and be like, hey, there's some. And they would put like a piece of a piece of memorable item into the water, and be like, okay, your shit's there. Get it. And so they would believe that they would catch a ghost in the fish tank.
And move, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, these were literally redneck Ghostbuster type people.
I mean, it sounds like a bunch of hunters. I was like y'all want to go ghost hunting?
Ooh, dear ghosts.
But then and here's another show that I haven't watched, but I've been told about.
That Cartoon Network Ghost Hunter show. Wenzel probably remembers it.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
The Other Siders or whatever.
Why do you remember that?
They have another. God, I keep coughing. There's a. Oh God, what was I saying?
Another show.
There's
people
another
told you
show
about.
that I haven't seen personally, but Jonathan's talked to me about it. It was Ghost Brothers or something like that, but it's like Ghost Brothers, which is like a play on African American sort of. It's literally two African American men or a group of African American men that are brothers who go into places and be exaggeratedly like like the whole idea.
Is this
like,
on TV?
Yes, it is. It's on BET, I believe. Yeah, it's either on BET or Travel Channel. No, it's on Travel Channel. I don't know what it's on. Hold on.
Travel Channel. Wow, they got Ghost up in there.
Ghost Brothers.
And they got carnival food, which is a
Andrew Zimmerman's
It's actually
Wild
called-
Foods. Bizarre. Dang it.
No, yeah, it's called Ghost Brothers. And here's the crazy thing. I'm looking at this right now, and it's still on. They just had season 2 in June.
How many episodes?
What are odd like time frames? Like, what would be the best time to air a ghost hunting show? April to June? Yeah, April to June. You think you want to capitalize on the Halloween hype?
Yeah, it started in 2016. It has a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, but
Sounds good to me.
but the Google users have rated the show 90% liked.
That's really good.
96%
a
liked.
comedy show with like a 5.3 is usually pretty good.
Yeah, they're three brothers, 3 African American men who go into these places and basically beat down ghosts. Oh, and it's on Destination America. Nope. It's either Destination America or TLC.
Wow, what a range of channels.
I think it's on.
Nickelodeon. Nick Jr.
No, yeah, it's on both.
It's on Nick Jr. and Nickelodeon.
It's on both Destination America and TLC, according to this.
Weird.
What
What does the new episodes come on?
I don't know. It just ended back in June, so I don't know if they've released.
Oh, they're doing what like Family Guy did with.
but there was
Fox
11
and Adult
episodes.
Swim.
And I don't know. But also BuzzFeed.
Worth it.
BuzzFeed does another one called Unsolved, and that has Ryan Bagheera and who's the other guy? I can't. I'm googling it right now, so I'm accurate. And they do a really cool they kind of do a cool thing with it. Oh gosh, what is the guy's name?
I mean, they make it like actually like historical and stuff. Like they teach you like
Right.
facts, and they try to the episodes I've watched. They try to interview like the owner of the building to get like a backstory of the building. It's actually like pretty informational.
Yeah, and
informed.
that was a lot of
right.
what I liked about a lot of these ghost shows is that it teaches you the history of these places. Ghost hunters, at least in the very, very beginning, I don't know what they do now because I haven't seen the actual Ghost Hunters show in forever. In the very, very beginning, ghost hunters used to do just people's houses for free, and as long as they could film, they would do it for free, and they would just go to random people's houses, and they would talk about the history of these people. It would be like, my grandfather died, and I grew up this way, and so you would just get to learn about random people. But then you had Ghost Adventures come along. And they, by the way, if you want a good ghost hunters documentary, like a ghost hunting documentary, you want to see the Ghost Adventures documentary they made back in 2007,
A
6,
while
7.
ago.
It's a little old,
I
but
was 8 years old.
it was very good, and it was what kind of skyrocketed Ghost Adventures into what it is today. And but in Ghost Adventures, the one thing they do is they go into bigger places, and of course, Ghost Hunters did too. They went to big places, but a lot of times those big places were for special events. But Ghost Adventures, they had a bigger budget because they only had 3 crew members going to these places, and they would go to these really, really cool places that are historical, like Pinhurst. Was another one that I really liked. That was the one where they would walk. They went to Sloss Furnace in Birmingham, which is right up the road from us. Yeah. And you would get to learn about a little bit of the history of these places, the folklore around these places, especially. History is kind of a loose term there because a lot of this you can verify like, oh, these people died here, or these people didn't die here, but you can't really verify like, there's this old foreman who got pushed into the melting pit at Slosh,
I remember that too.
Right, and one of my favorite episodes was actually at Pinhurst. I think it was Pinhurst. It was an old asylum that's huge, and he was just walking the campus of this old asylum that was like broken down, and they don't really go there anymore. It's literally just sitting there like on state property, hasn't been touched. He's walking through, and what ended up happening was they were walking, they heard something crash. They heard something, it sounded like something just slammed into something. And you just see main dude, Zach Bagans, he goes, "What was that? What was that?" And he just starts running towards the direction in which it came. And
Two homeless people fucking on camera. Can you believe it?
It was
No.
a whole other demographic they weren't even aiming for.
They got it.
When it ended
episode.
up happening is I don't think they found anything, but when it happening is at night they were searching one of the buildings and it's like, wait, this is the building that we heard the noise from. And there was a desk, a huge ass desk that had obviously been like pulled and moved and to the other side of the room. This is the building that we heard the noise from. And then they found that desk and they're like, holy fuck, this was the desk that moved. And then they got like pebbles thrown at them. I remember these episodes.
Goddamn ghosts.
I've seen these episodes
Goddamn
like 2 or 3
pebbles.
times each.
The whole time you've been talking about this, I've been okay. So totally off topic. Well, it's not really because it's still about ghosts. But the McElroy brothers, they had the show on CISO, and they did an episode where only 2 of them could go in this hallway, and it was like this supposedly like dark, spooky hallway, whatever. And so Justin and Travis, which are the 2 oldest ones, they went into the hallway, and they were like, "Oh my god." Is that Sonic the Hedgehog? Dude, Griffin, you're missing out. Sonic's in here. Oh my god, $1 million. $1 million in Sonic the Hedgehog. And they like were losing their shit. And then they come out, they're like, Griffin, you missed it. It was the best time. And then Griffin goes in there, and Griffin's like, oh my god, Sonic's here again, guys. It's crazy. And then Justin and Travis just ignore it. But it was really good. It was a great bit. Fantastic bit.
I'm sorry to say, but the entire time I've been looking at my phone, I've just been looking at this new shit they announced from Marvel called 1 million BC Avengers.
Excuse me?
That's what I've been looking at the entire time. I was so invested into it. I'm sorry.
I accidentally opened a picture that I was going to mention. It was have you seen the picture of the frog on top of the pig like this? Well, I'm showing it to everyone in the room. Look it up if you. It's that picture, but this is the scene right after.
Let me see it.
He says that's not a good thing.
Wait, let me see.
Go to the next picture.
It's not a good thing. Okay. Ghost
Dude,
Adventures.
by the way, Puffball has a pig now.
Oh, we're going to go meet the pig.
We need to see that pig podcast for pig.
We might do a live stream of meeting the pig.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
If there's
I know.
any sort of service out there. That'd
But
be
I
great.
mean,
I don't
I've
know
just
where they
been
put 'em.
sitting here looking at that. I mean, I've been listening, but then I've been so invested in. I just thought it's so interesting. Ghost Riders riding a woolly mammoth that's on fire.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Oh, woo.
Odin's in it. He's wielding Mjolnir. It's
It's pronounced Jojner.
It's Shasha
It's the silent M and G and Y and J.
There's no why.
and purple.
What?
Okay. Anyway.
So, so I don't really know what to say about ghosts.
Dude, Sonic's in here.
I did go on a ghost tour of Tuscaloosa on Friday.
Was it any good? Is
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa spooked?
Yeah, well, Tuscaloosa is very spooky. We got lots of spooky places.
Let's go. Let's go into those places.
Well,
Breaking
some of those
and
places
entering.
we can get arrested for.
said
Most
what I
places.
You know what's really spooky?
I was
The
like-
politics of Alabama.
Wenzel's has been quiet for 30 minutes. And this is
Maybe Wenzel should just look at his phone the whole podcast.
So one of the big things that I was wanting to do was not be on campus. Be like, what's going on with Tuscaloosa? But we did a 20-minute tour on campus too of scariest places.
Oh wow.
What's the scariest place on campus?
the
Let me
classroom
guess.
because of the work.
Morgan Hall, 3rd floor.
Now that's my spooky ass place.
Well, it's and the air conditioner never works in there. In the summertime, it's a nightmare.
I know it works. It's just all the heat rises to that 3rd floor.
That too.
The 3rd floor is. Has anybody here had any spooky moments? Like I don't believe, but I have been run out of a building before.
Well,
I remember Cody used to do YouTube videos where he would go ghost hunting in like 2005. They don't exist anymore.
no,
but
they were.
They do if you believe in the.
But they were supposed to be for. They were like for fun. I was trying to.
no,
be
they
Ghost
were real. They were
Adventures.
real.
They were real.
whenever I lived in Northport with the Northbrook apartments, there's always weird shit going on at our apartment. There's always weird sounds and shit. Well, one day, I'm at my house by myself, and I think my mom called me. She was like, "I'm coming home." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Okay." So I was like sitting there just playing Ratchet and Clank, and then I hear and just know the door was locked, by the way, because I always keep the door locked because that's just
You're a
I'm
kid.
I'm a kid.
Yeah.
So the door's
And
locked.
plus, people break in.
Yeah, so I'm waiting,
And you're
and
playing
then
Ratchet
I
and
hear
Clank.
the door open.
That's the important one.
I hear the door open. I'm like, oh, that's my mom. So I wait a little bit, and I'm like, "Hey, Mom." No sound. I'm like, that's weird. So I go downstairs. The door's just wide open. My mom's car's not there. Nobody's there. And I'm like, huh.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. I was
I
like,
think somebody broke into your place, heard you playing Ratchet and Clank. He's like, "Oh fuck, I got a dip."
This doesn't really happen to me, but it happens more so to my grandma and my mom. Sometimes they'll hear like, and I mean, this is not really spooky. 'Cause I think it's fairly common, so whatever. But they'll hear like, so my grandfather, he whistles a lot, like, and sometimes they'll think they hear him whistling, but he's nowhere near, like,
Yeah.
or he's not even at. But they'll think they hear him like whistling,
But like he's alive.
yeah, no, and he's also alive. Yeah.
He's also a
What?
Yeah, so like okay,
So your mom and sister think
no, my mom and my grandma like sometimes here, like they'll be like, oh, okay, that's Bruce whistling and whatever, and then they'll be like, oh, Pawpaw hasn't been here in 20 minutes.
Did they check the farm behind the house?
No,
I mean the barn.
the barn.
Shit.
Wait, I'm very like that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
They're hearing from the future.
or some I don't know.
That was depressing. Hold on, let me rephrase that.
I don't
Wait
know
a
what it is, but the like, and it's been happening for 20. I mean, since probably before I
oh
was
no,
alive.
I get it. Bruce is setting up a little recorder that he plays.
Yeah.
All right, Lois,
My
I'm
grandpa,
taking out the garbage.
He's obviously the king of banter, my grandfather, so it's very realistic. He used to. I remember when I was a kid.
He
Again,
taught him goat to whistle.
well, it has. It's also might happen, but he used to set up a rabbit trap every Easter. It was like when we were kids. He's like, "I want to catch that damn Easter bunny this year." He's like, "Are we gonna eat him?" And we'd be like, "No, Papa, no." But he was like, "And this is the Easter bunny's favorite food: saltine crackers with Tabasco."
Oh,
So
I
he
didn't
would
know
set,
that.
He would set him in the rabbit cage. I don't even know what kind of bit it was, but he was like, "We're gonna catch this damn rabbit this year." I was like,
Gosh, you know,
he did that till I was like 14 too.
Speaking of
You believed it the entire time.
I mean, I still believe it.
speaking of like experiences or whatever, whenever we went to that beach trip in the summer, we went to Fort Morgan, and Fort Morgan is supposed to be haunted or whatever. So we actually went into like the room that is reportedly supposed to have the most like ghosts sightings or whatever, and it's literally a room that's super dark, and if you turn on your light, handprints all over the wall. Like some of it doesn't kind of make sense because they all go up to the ceiling, so it's kind of weird. And me being me, I don't believe in ghosts, so I'm like, start fucking around. Start like, hey, ghost, what's up, bitch?
Whistle gets possessed.
I'm just saying. I probably already said this before on the podcast, but if you're scared, start jerking off or just start fondling yourself. You won't be scared for long. I'm just saying.
And
Am I wrong? Anybody at the table?
love
Am
how
I wrong?
Cole's prefaced that by saying, "I've probably said this on the podcast before."
I've said it a bunch of times in my life, and I stick to that. Start fondling yourself if you're a group of people. If you're by yourself, jerk off. Am I wrong?
What awful advice for anyone, though.
the only Oh, actually, I have another one that just literally happened to us.
The barn was fake.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really didn't get possessed last week, right?
I was like, shit.
So I'll tell you my first one. My first one and the only.
Cody broke the mics he just bought.
Dude. What?
How about airline nuts? Newts. Airline newts.
Don't bring us off track again.
I'll go ahead and
Why are you
turn
stepping
down
at Wenzel?
Wenzel.
First off, Newt was my bet.
He said newt at the beginning of the podcast.
Okay,
If y'all want
look.
to do the intro, y'all can do the damn.
All right. Here's my story. After not dropping things, so I was working for I still work for a company that works on campus and goes around and checks computers and things like that. We at this point in time, I was going around checking computers, making sure that they were ready for professors the next morning from classroom to classroom. And if you go to the University of Alabama, you should know Morgan Hall is the English building, and I was on the third floor, and I think I was in 306 because it jumped because the two rooms that were beside each other were 306 and 309. Maybe 305 and 306. I was in 305. Funny that they're in.
I just know
order.
somebody on the third floor of Morgan Hall used to watch King of the Hill every day. in like a classroom.
It could have been me. But I was up there by myself because my coworker, who we usually go in pairs, especially since we're at nighttime on campus, we usually go in pairs, and she wasn't there that night. She was off, and so I was alone by myself, third floor of Morgan Hall, and the only people that I thought were in the building were the custodians. So what was happening, I finished up in one room, and I went to go walk out of the room. And as I was going to walk out of the room, and right as I was soon to turn off the lights, I hear what sounds like one of those projector screens, those old ones that you pull down. It sounded like they were, when literally just kind of rolled back up real sharply, like it just unlatched. I stopped for a minute. Hallway was fucking dark. Didn't see any light, but I was thinking, okay, it's probably the custodian. So I turn off the lights and I lock the door, and I turn around and go towards that was the next room I was going into. And
No, I would have left at that point.
there was not a fucking soul in that building.
Or
I was
if
the
you're
last
not
person in that
sure
building.
If like someone's in the
least on
room,
the floor.
like you could approach it with comedy. You say, "Hey, we want some friendship," and then you see if there's a friend in that area.
Cole, I'm convinced you.
I'm telling you,
No,
I am
I'm
never
convinced-
scared
I'm convinced
because
the
my
ol-
brain is broken.
I'm convinced the only time you talk and communicate is on this podcast. I think you go a week at a time without talking, and that's why you just say whatever comes to your head.
But the thing is, if I were ever in these situations, I would actually pull some of this stuff off.
I don't know.
But I don't leave the house, so I never in this situation.
But so I went to the room and I look up and I'm like, I know I heard something in here. And I look up and I see the pull down thingy, the projector screen, it's just kind of swinging because it was on two hooks, just kind of swinging there. And I was like, okay, well, I'm spooked the fuck out right now. So I went back to the office. I had 30 minutes left in my shift. It was actually about 8:30, 8:35. And I just went back to the office and sat in the hallway of the office until it was time for me to pack up and go, because I wasn't dealing with any spooky shit. We also had in Farah Hall, which is the old law school. It's at one of the ends of the Arquad. There is an elevator that likes to run on its own. It's not the one in the main area, but in the back. There's an elevator that likes to go up and down on its own. And we call it the Hellevator because it's spooky. And there was one night where we literally opened the door to the building, and the elevator's right across from the door, and it just kind of boop, like it opened for us. It was real weird.
That is creepy. That's cool, though.
And we had to get to the fourth floor, and the fourth floor is kind of weird. It's remodeled, but you can tell it's still old. But going to my experience, I literally had on the ghost tour, and it's the spookiest things that happened on that ghost tour.
Wait, hold on. I got to get this one joke out before I die. It's the elevator running. You better go catch it.
I turned down Wenzel.
You turned down Cole. He's going to throw off the whole sound. Clap into the mic.
No, it's fine.
What is this,
It's not-
video? We're
it-
not
it's-
syncing a video.
I don't know.
It's not Skype.
I have no idea how audio works.
Yeah, you're thinking about whenever you would hit the thing, it would like shit up the whole.
Yeah.
So, final story for me when it comes to this shit.
Final story of the podcast.
Last
Make
Fri-
it good.
A week ago, on Friday, I was on this ghost tour, and we had checked out this whole place. We started at the Drish House, which is a very famous house in Tuscaloosa. It's old, looks spooky as fuck. You know, it was a record company for a while. Then it was a church. It was all these types of things, and then it was abandoned. And now it's owned by, I think that's owned by the Historical Society, or the owner just allows people to do history stuff there. But apparently the owner, John Drish, he fell down the stairs drunk, died. His wife left a note, saying, how sad she was. And what she did was she put him in the tower. The tower of Drish House, which there's a tower there, and on a table for 3 days with candles lit and things like that. And before they buried him, and from that same tower, just a few months later, she threw herself and killed herself from that same tower. And so they actually have a dining table in that tower now. So me and my friends, we were in there, and one of my friends, he had his camera out trying to take some pictures of the inlays around the tower and the plaster work and things like that. And I have never seen it. I work with technology all the time. I specifically work with a lot of Apple products a lot of the time. I work with cameras as well in general. And he was taking a picture, and first of all, whenever he pointed his camera forward, or pointed his camera down, it would focus on the table just fine. It was a little bit closer, but whenever he would lift it up, it could not gain focus despite there being light in the room. Like there's no way it shouldn't have focused. And his camera normally did not do this. It was not an issue with the camera. And his focus, it literally looked like someone was taking his phone and just vibrating it, just constantly vibrating his phone. And he was pointing it up at the plasterwork, vibrating. Point at the camera at the table, everything's fine. And he took some pictures. We haven't really looked at them, but and I took out my camera to make sure that maybe this is my camera worked fine. Looking through it, but whenever I take a picture, it would come out incredibly blurry. It was weird. It was probably the only weird thing that I could technology-wise, I can pretty much. iPhone should not, because what it looked like the phone was trying to focus 1,000,000 times in just a second. It was hundreds of times in just a second, and that just doesn't happen. It doesn't do that. It usually focuses or unfocuses, and you get a blurry pic or you get a clear pic. And if you don't, it's not going to try and autofocus 1,000,000 times. And this is what it was doing. It was shaking. It was real creepy.
That is kind of crazy. I mean, the fact that both your camera and a phone was doing that.
And we were in the tower, I think underneath, not in the same area, but underneath, because I think there's another level to the tower they have closed off for safety reasons.
Yeah.
But I think we were directly underneath where she had thrown herself off and where he had been sitting for
3 days.
For 3 days.
That's crazy. I mean, sure, you don't have to believe in ghosts, but man, there's some spooky shit that happens.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's kind of the placebo effect type of thing, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, because placebo effect, you take a sugar pill, but you say, oh, it's going to cure your stomach pains or whatever, and then your stomach pains go away because it's somehow. I mean, placebo effect is an actual studied thing. There's research out there on it and things like that. And I think the same way is. I think the same way you look at a lot of things in life is that it's real to the person it's happening to.
Yeah.
And because it's real to them, it's real in a lot of ways. Because in their own reality, whether it's actually something's physically manipulating them, at least in their head, it's fucking them up to some degree. And so I don't know. Who knows? Are ghosts real?
I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Well, we totally got off track. Literally
20 minutes about ghost stuff, maybe 30 minutes of us laughing.
Yeah, that's about the way it breaks down. But if you like this podcast, please rate us, review us, maybe even subscribe to us on iTunes. All You Can Hear Podcasts. We're on SoundCloud. All You Can Hear Podcasts. We're on Google Play Music. All You Can Hear Podcasts. Twitter.com/ or at AYCH Podcast, Instagram.com/AYCH Podcast, Twitch.tv/ All You Can Hear. Is it All You Can Hear on Twitch?
Yes, it's All You Can Hear.
There's going to be a stream in October.
Gonna happen.
I guarantee it.
It will happen.
Guarantee it. But and you can follow me on Twitter at Tanner1495. I had a tweet go viral. It was a panda. Really good. That destroyed my mentions for 3 days, by the way. It didn't really go viral, but it destroyed my mentions.
2,000 retweets and likes is viral.
Okay, well, y'all do your all's outro.
Well, all right, my name Colt. Follow me on Twitter at Colty88. That's it.
Follow me, Wenzel, at Wenzy Wilkie. Tell me what you think about 1 million BC Avengers. Ghost Rider riding a mammoth.
You can follow me, Cody, at CODDOC11 for Twitter and Instagram.
Why do you sound so bored?
I've got poison on my fingernails.
This has been your episode of All You Can Hear.
All right. Boo!
Ah!